noon hour is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, welcome into the program. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Any of that make it over the air?
Probably not.
You dumped it?
Yeah, of course.
You had a little sports roulette music coming in? Hey, it happens. Who am I?
No, but it shouldn't.
Who am I to make fun of anything, Lloyd?
No, how about it, man?
No,
man.
Man, it's all good. It's all good. No worries.
Now I'm going to do what I
whatsoever.
do, and I'm going to deflect.
I know. You're all good. Hope
Hey,
you're all having a great
what's going
Friday.
on with Jimmer Fredette's groin?
Hi, Hans.
How did that get to you so fast?
Because we told him to.
Jeez.
Plus, I have to deflect at my mistakes, so.
I'm doing good. Hey, have you tried this blueberry ice?
No, I haven't even heard of it.
It's down there in the break room.
Oh, yeah?
I was just sitting down there with some of the custodians, getting a little break, looked up and realized my conversation had maybe gone over.
A little bit,
A little bit. Man, I forget. Jake and Ben, man, they're on it. Those dudes don't mess around. It's okay. It's only 70 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
But
Are you worried about caffeine these days?
The flavor is popping. I feel like in these energy drinks, I've got a sweet spot. Like I told you, those Celsius, they put me over the edge.
Yeah.
Monster's kind of right there in the middle. So, like, I definitely love caffeine in it, but what I love, it's loaded with B12 and B6.
Yeah.
That's my happy pill.
Can you tell if you take a lot of B12?
Yes.
B6?
Can you?
No.
Oh, I do.
No, I don't notice anything.
If I take a B vitamin supplement that just...
I mean, I do take a B complex every day, but I don't notice if I don't take it.
I love it so much. I love it. But things are good, buddy.
Would you let me take a drink of that or no?
Yeah, please.
I didn't know if you're weird about that.
No,
or not.
absolutely. Take
Okay.
a drink. It's really good flavor.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a blueberry. It's like
Yeah.
a light blueberry flavor.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
It's a blue raspberry flavor. It's really
Yeah.
good, buddy. How about you?
I just got my mug full of Pepsi Zero. You know what's weird? And I don't know why, but I've kind of gone, like I've been a big Coke Zero guy for years and years and years. And I know it's not as widely available as Coke Zero, but Pepsi Zero is kind of jumping up the food chain for me. Like I actually kind of enjoy it.
Pepsi Zero?
Yeah.
What's got you going with Pepsi
I don't know.
Zero?
It's just kind of a different flavor. It's just kind
Have
of
you
a
always
nice...
been a Pepsi person?
No, never.
Never Pepsi
Never
person at
Pepsi
all.
person at all. I've always liked, if I go to a restaurant and before Coke Zero was available, if I was Coke versus Pepsi, it was always Coke. But if it was Diet Pepsi versus Diet Coke, I would go Diet Pepsi. But then Coke Zero came out and blew everybody out of the water. So I've always been a Coke Zero drinker. But now I've stumbled into Pepsi Zero. I'm like, man, this is pretty good.
It is. It's a good shot. I'm actually doing more Mountain Dew Zero now than I am Diet Mountain Dew. At first, I really didn't like the zeros across the board.
Oh, I love Coke Zero immediately. I was like, okay, all right.
For some reason, it never hit for me.
Could not stand Diet Coke. Still can't stand Diet Coke.
But what I'm doing now is I just don't put ice in any drinks. Like if I order a drink at all, no ice in
Why?
any sodas. Don't know what it is.
What are you, European?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. No, the soda typically comes out really cold and cold enough, and then I can drink it without any delay or confusion.
You're more about
Having to
you don't want
sift or
ice taking up
strain.
space. Of
Is it a
something
money
you're-
thing?
Yeah, there you go.
No, because it's typically free refills. So definitely not a money thing.
Or those free
Yeah, no,
refills, or those Hans Olsen.
No,
free
I've always
refills.
got to have ice. I can't make it without ice.
For some reason, I don't like to pull the drink through the ice and then like strain it with my teeth and lips.
Oh, okay.
It's just nice to like open my mouth and just let it free flow, and everything in the cup just
goes right down the gullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice feel. Lloyd, what about you? It's good to see you back.
It's good to be back.
Boy, did you tell Hans about the feast you
I
had
did
yesterday?
tell him about the feast. I haven't shown him the pictures though.
Dude was
Oh,
knocking
man.
back steak and lobster and potatoes au gratin.
$200 meal.
Easy.
easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Good for you, bud. I'm very happy.
That's per person. That's per person, by the way.
I'm very happy for you.
Are you, though? Are you happy? You really mean that?
Did you guys have to pay? Did they make you pay?
No.
Oh. Jeez,
No. It was
I've really stumbled into you can now look. It's not the massive 10-pound lobster tail that homeboy over there was eating yesterday, but you go to your grocery store and find like a cheap lobster tail for like $10-15 and throw that on a direct heat on your grill.
Yeah.
And with a lot of like garlic butter basting on it.
Direct heat. So on direct flame?
Yeah, I put it like on direct, like on because I've got this grill that I'll put charcoal on, and I'll throw that sucker right on there for about 5-6 minutes, and then it'll pop right. I kind of cut the shell open and kind of butterfly the shell.
Yeah.
And the shell kind of protects it a little bit because I put the shell down, but open it up.
What are these? Frozen or
No, they're fresh, and you can get them relatively cheap. And now, granted, the quality isn't what you'd expect, and the size isn't great. But for one person, whew,
you dip that thing in butter?
You get that thing in butter, and man, it pulls right out. Put a little Cajun seasoning, a little butter, a little garlic salt, and you can make yourself some pretty good lobster.
Speaking of food, man, I was bummed to get out of Logan without a good meal. I kind of wanted to stop with you and hit a good meal. We used to hit that all-you-can-eat noodle place.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good meals to be had in Logan. Logan is a very underrated food spot. There's a lot of really good local joints there.
They've got a pizza joint that's down in the basement.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yep.
They've got a sub joint that's on the north end.
Yep.
That I really love.
They've got a Barria. How do you say?
Barria.
Taco place in Smithfield that's really good. Okay.
Really?
Okay, in there.
Yeah, Lloyd's Alec.
Thumbing his nose at the white dudes in here. And then there's a...
hey, it's not me laughing. It's Christian Esparza laughing.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Sorry, I can't roll my R.
Sorry,
heavy.
Christian, my bad. There's a tandoori oven, which is some of the best Indian food you'll ever have.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of really good places up there.
And then there's the White Owl for those of you that like something you like to drink your meals.
Well, there's a good garlic burger at the White Owl.
There you go. You're right. Their garlic burger is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was a fun day though in Logan, man.
Yeah, if you missed it, we interviewed pretty much everybody up there.
Yeah.
So if you missed any of those conversations, just search Hans and Scotty on your podcasting platform of choice. If you just love football, and I know like I'm not listening to any Utah State, blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. If you just love the game of football and you love X's and O's, go search the Cooper Bassett interview that we did with the O-line coach. Mm-hmm. Because that was just a fun talking ball, talking X's and O's with a guy that really just loves the sport.
I feel like I might have gained a little bit of confidence in you with the D-line stuff when I was going over it with Coach, and he was endorsing it, just the techniques.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh man, I was just so glad he didn't say you don't know what you're talking about. I was asking him. I'm like worried about it. I'm like, come on, because I really believe I know this stuff.
Well, I mean,
and I'm like, he's gonna say no, but I thought I'm gonna ask him.
Okay,
just to make sure that the game hasn't evolved on me.
Let's be honest here. There is nothing you can say about X's and O's of the game of football that I won't immediately believe. If it comes from you, I'm like, if Hans says it, I'm on board.
You've been around it long enough to you would be able to stop me and say, dude, come on. No. Just because a quarterback can throw both right and left-handed doesn't make him All-American. Like, it's science. An ambidextrous quarterback gives you all kinds of benefits.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, to be able to switch it to the left hand and throw. Because you see that in
baseball.
And you see it in pickleball. They'll throw the paddle to the left hand and pop the ball over, and then throw it to the right hand and pop the ball over.
I need to get into pickleball.
We broadcast.
Are you doing you're putting in a pickleball court at your house?
He flirted with it for a second.
I flirted with it until I realized the wind always blows, and you can't play pickleball in the wind.
Yeah.
But we did a remote at an indoor.
I know. I missed that show.
Pickleball place.
That's when I was doing the surgery that week.
Hey, that thing is sweet. It's sweet. It's got chain link fence that separates the courts, and the courts are real nice.
Where's this at?
real nice.
Is it
Clark.
Harriman or something? Down south?
It's Harriman.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you know where the new RSL facilities are?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's right there by
All
those.
right. Gotcha.
So it's just off that
I got a
part
neighbor.
of Rockwell Drive.
I got a neighbor who's got installed a pickleball court, and the neighborhood dudes line up there every morning.
Oh, do
to
they?
go play, and they've invited.
Is it in the cul-de-sac or is it up or down?
It's
it get loud?
It's in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And I've got invited over there, and I'm like, I need to play it a little bit because you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of your neighbors. So I got to find a place to play, get up to speed a little bit. It's like what we talk about with Ethan, with, getting yourself financially right before you have the financial planners come in and take a look at yourself. Like, I want to make sure that I at least know I can handle myself before you go and hang with the neighbors.
Have you played at all?
Never. Not in pickleball, never. I haven't played a second. Like, I think I could, I've played tennis a little bit before. Like, I think I can pick it up pretty quick.
Okay, so when the three of us get together, we have a blast. Me, you, and Lloyd. When we're just away from work, we have fun. Would the three of you be willing to step on a pickleball court and just pick up a paddle and go hit it around a little bit?
The three of us?
Yeah.
I
On an early morning?
Yeah.
Have you played a little pickleball, Lloyd?
I have not, but I would love to play some pickleball. I think I can pick it up pretty quickly.
The two of you are exceptional athletes, and I feel like I would bring you all down.
Exceptional with me about that.
And make sure you put the was on me.
Are exceptional athletes. But here's the thing. You think you've dropped, like, I know in this weight loss, I have dropped an obscene amount of muscle. Like, I'm crazy weak right now.
Yeah.
But
I'll bet you the lungs are good for you right now.
Well, I will say this. We did set a PR today on the old Peloton.
Had a guy.
Okay, I was asking Lloyd this. Like, I was really proud of what I did on the Peloton today. Like, we had ourselves a ride, a really rough 45-minute ride. And I was going to tweet out my stats like, I killed it. And I'm like,
oh, yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
As soon as I thought I was going to do it, I'm like, no, I'm going to get destroyed.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't. Because
we would not have destroyed.
Yeah, we would have.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah, we would have.
Had you done it, I would have destroyed you. Because if Hans did it, we'd destroy him.
Because we know, what would come next is his toes, a picture of his toes on a scale.
No, I did. Look, no, I did the scale. I did the scale thing once, but I didn't put the toes in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The scale thing is fine. It's the toes in the scale thing.
Look, when I broke under 200.
It was party time.
I was okay.
But you didn't tweet that, did you?
What's that?
I don't remember you.
I tweeted it.
Oh,
yeah,
you did?
Yeah. When I went sub 200, you guys can destroy me all you want. I was going to tweet that out because I'm going to own that one.
Well, it's a big day, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Lloyd, you got this meal for free? You're a real puke. I don't ever want to hear you say anything about me being entitled and it's Hans's world or...
Well, it is. I only got this one time.
Yeah.
You get that all the time.
Hans's America's
kidding me.
Not like
best.
that. Not like that.
Not like
and
this.
Hans has connections.
No, he never gets
place.
any nice stays up that way towards a certain
Oh, that
city.
is a nice stay.
Yeah.
But I am going to be having a meal like this, though, but not all you can eat. This was an all you can eat.
Is this... I know, right?
Oh, it was so good.
So did you do the ribeyes last night, or is it coming up this weekend?
This week, I'm gonna have to do it Sunday.
You got to get those things going, man.
I know they've been sitting in the fridge for a bit. It's just with kids stuff. I ended up at Rock's practice yesterday. Which, by the way, when do you start practice?
Oh, we've already started.
Oh, you're going.
Oh yeah, we've gone all week this week.
Coach Gerard.
No, I bowed out.
You did?
Oh yeah, I quit.
You already quit?
Yeah.
You bowed out?
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
I can't tell if you're being serious.
No, I'm being serious. I told him
How'd
I
Brody
can't do
take it?
Brody's fine.
Oh.
I think Brody prefers I don't do it.
You just told him I can't. I'm not.
No. I flirted with it for a practice or two, and then I was like, no, we're not doing this.
Done. Well, it's probably a good choice.
There were a lot of coaches out there that were far more qualified than I was.
I endorse your choice.
You did the same thing. You coached for a second, then you're like, okay, we're not doing this.
There's a miserable.
Yeah.
Some are built for it and some aren't.
Yep.
I was at Rock's practice yesterday, and I was looking around at his coaching staff, and I'm sitting there thinking, how is it that there are men that are this great, that are willing to spend their time with these kids? Like, because they're great men. Lehigh's coaching staff, some of the greatest men.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Larson.
Ed Larson.
Ed is as good of a person as you'll find, and dedicated, and the personal sacrifice that he's made for those kids down there is ridiculous.
By the way, you heard
is it official?
Yeah, you heard he announced it.
Okay, I
last year.
I wasn't going to say anything.
It's his last year.
All right, well,
which it sucks because that's that. You were talking about some of these other longtime coaches in the state that retire, and the hard thing about it is you want those men to influence your kids.
Yeah.
You want men like that to be around your kids. And you hope that wherever your kid is going to high school, I hope that they find themselves in a coaching situation where, at the very minimum, there's some integrity there.
Yes. Because nothing can impact a kid for better or worse than a coach. Like, nobody can enhance their love of hard work, dedication, teamwork, all that stuff that you hope is installed in a kid than a great coach, whether it's football, basketball, whatever.
Yeah.
And nobody can damage them and their love of competition and sports more than a bad coach.
I agree. It can really hurt you. But as a parent, you also you can't go against a coach because all that does is makes it worse.
Yeah.
Back the coach. You got to be old school, and you got to be able to teach your kid accountability and back a coach. And you might be in a bad situation. You might feel like the situation is raw. But a lot of times you're not getting the right info from your kid. So make sure you're getting the right info from the kid. But I was out there, Scotty, and I'm like, geez, Manasseh Tonga, BYU legend, is the running backs coach at Lehigh.
Jeez.
Ryan Lofton, who played for the Oregon Ducks, is their linebackers guy. Coach Hatfield, who coaches tight ends, played at BYU. Coach Anderson played at BYU and played with the New England Patriots. Like, you look around and you're like, geez, these guys are all, why are you doing this?
And by the way, all of them are qualified to become the next head coach.
The next head coach, or take another step. That's what I'm always looking at. Like, you guys do this because you're doing it for the love of the game at the high school level.
Yeah.
I think assistants get like $2,000, $3,000. Head coaches get like $5,000 or $6,000
for the entire season.
For the entire season,
yeah, not per month. It's just a little stipend.
We sit here and bark about let's raise teachers' pay. Okay, well that's great. Teachers deserve a good pay. Well, let's find a way to make coaches' time worth it, so we can keep some good ones around.
Yeah, I mean we're already blessed with really good football coaches in the state. There's a lot of really good ones. And I don't know how they do it, honestly. I don't know why they do it.
I don't know. But I'm glad they do. But they put in hours.
Oh, yeah.
Hours and hours. I just shake my head. I can't believe it. And it's fun. The high school season, I think.
17th, 16th, 17th.
Rock's first game is the 16th.
Yeesh.
That is.
I like how you ask me like in a question mark. Like, I don't know.
That's 14 days from today.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be right. 2 weeks from today, I think, is when we start. And by the way,
14 days from today, Hatcher.
Hey,
high school football.
Hatcher, what game you calling? You calling games? Oh, he doesn't know. He is. He just doesn't know. Are we, Lloyd, do we have any programming that we need to announce in terms of high school football? Or should we keep our mouth shut? Oh, Game Night Live? All right, good. I just want to make sure. Game Night Live's rocking and rolling then. Let's go. Hatch, what you got? Hatch, you just on the call this year? Across the board? All right, man. Good. That Lehigh job, I got to imagine there's going to be a lot of heavy hitters looking for that gig when Ed shuts it down. I think so. I think it is. I think you're right, though. I think it's going to be an inner squad guy. That's already on. I do. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Because there's a lot of good men on that. Yeah. On that. Well, geez. I mean, the resumes you're just throwing out on the guys that are already on staff, any of those guys could take it over and be fine. I missed Coach Cooper. Hey, Hatch, what do you know about Coach Cooper? He's got a couple kids that play like collegiately. Yeah, he's got D1 athletes in the family, yes. I think one of his kids went to Boise State, Scotty. Wow. All right. Cole Cooper. Won't hold that against him. Did he go to Washington State? As well. Huh? Wasn't it Kamen? Kamen Cooper, that's right. One of them, I think Washington State maybe. Oh, is that the quarterback? Yeah. Oh, okay. And Wazoo in Hawaii, I think. Yeah, I think he's in Hawaii now. Yes, yeah. That's him. Okay. That's his dad's the quarterback coach there. Okay. All right. I'm just telling you, man, it's crazy. You look at these high school staffs and you're like, it's not like the old times, buddy, where you're lucky to have one guy that had any D2 experience. Yeah. Or any, yeah.
Or even high-level high school experience. Yeah. It was hard to find. But nowadays, that's why the growth in this state is just tremendous with football. And it is demanding that you get good coaches in there.
I don't know how these guys do it because let's be honest, the parents out there are just ridiculous now these days. Now, not all of you, not most of you, but the small majority of parents out there that make these guys' life a living hell, I can't handle it. I couldn't handle it. And I don't know why anybody would sign up to do that.
I don't either, but I'm glad they do.
I am too. I just, but some of the stuff and this is just my 13-year-old playing U Conference football and hearing some of the stuff that I hear from the sidelines is just like, what? This can't be serious. People are talking like this and saying these kind of things. And that's just at the Little League level. I can't imagine how bad it is at the high school level. It's just insane.
Ed Larson, high school coaching legend. Who are some of the other high school coaching legends? Who was the Skyview coach that we talked about that ran the Dupay? Was he?
Skyline.
Skyline.
Yeah, Roger Dupay.
He'd be up there, right?
Oh, yeah. You got, who
did Van Orden coach for? Oh, Timpview coach.
You got Larry Wall from Bountiful.
Larry Wall's the one that I've heard. I think it was the one that Christian Cox talked about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Christian would take a bullet for that guy still. And I've told you my Larry Wall story and because I didn't know Larry at all. I moved to Bountiful after he'd retired. They named the field after him. But I was coaching Brody's flag football team. And it was I was just filling in for a game. Coach was gone. He needed a little help. So I'm like, sure, I'll fill in for a game. And all of a sudden, we're up against this team, and they are just, it's like they are so structurally sound and so organized, and they are just obliterating us. Just obliterating us. And they got this old man over the sideline screaming and yelling and calling out stuff, and these kids are just like robots out there. And I'm like, who is this guy? It was Larry Wall coaching his grandkids' flag football team.
And he was coming undone?
And he was, these kids were they were like little Marines out there.
Yeah.
No back talking, no opinions, no smiling, nothing.
All flat tops?
Oh, my gosh. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's great, man. High school football.
Yep.
2 weeks away from today.
Hans and Scotty, this is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
3, 2, 1. It's the 10th annual Top 60 and 60. Get your college football fix every day at 1:30 as the Zone counts you down to the start of the 2024 season by listing off the top 60 players in the state of Utah as voted on by the local media and you, the fans. You'll also hear from the coaches as they talk about the players that will impact their season the most. It's the Top 60 and 60, weekdays at 1:30, presented by 5 Star Painting on your home of the best college football coverage in Utah. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Number one.
Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, 12:31. Happy Friday, everybody. The weekend is here. I feel like getting loose this weekend, man.
Go do it, man.
Go get some donuts.
Go have some fun.
Going to a concert tonight.
What concert you?
You know I don't do concerts. That's my guys. Guster's in town, so
Guster came.
I gotta always go to Guster.
Where they at?
Someplace up in Park City. Some amphitheater up there.
I know you got to support Guster. You went to the Red Rocks to see him once.
Yeah, I've been to Red Rocks. I've traveled a little bit to see them. That's my. I always forget the band that PK nerds out for. I'm not quite that kind of a nerd for them, but
Travis Brown, I believe.
The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, I think.
I think it's Travis Brown. I could be wrong though. I think he's got pit tickets.
I've never even heard of Travis Brown.
It's a country singer.
Yeah. So anyway, got that tonight. Taking my boys up there. We're gonna have a good little dinner and then go hang out and watch a little concert.
Good
All
for
right.
you.
Camps are underway. Utah State kicks off later today. BYU kicked off yesterday. Utah underway earlier in the week. But the million-dollar question, I think, when you look at storylines across the state of Utah, in terms of Utah, BYU, Utah State, look, if there's a quarterback issue at BYU, that's always going to take front and center, hands. And I think a lot of us looked at the fact that BYU has some uncertainty at that quarterback position. It is there for the taking. I think a lot of us kind of assumed that it would be Retzloff, but I think Bohannon may have something to say about it before it's all said and done.
You know what I was doing last night? After I got done talking with Spencer Petras, I went home and I pulled up the two careers.
Yeah.
Do you know Gary Bohannon and Spencer Petras started in 2018? Both of them?
Yeah, they've been around for a minute. Yeah.
Both of them started all the way back in 2018. Gary Bohannon with Baylor and Spencer Petras with Iowa.
Yeah.
And the similarities are pretty interesting. You know, if you go down the list, Gary Bohannon has had the better season of the two when he went on to win the Big 12 and went for 2,200 yards and 18 touchdowns and threw for 63% and had that season in 2021. And then Spencer Petras had a very nice season in 2021 as well. 1,900 yards, 10 touchdowns, threw 57% completion, and very solid. So similarities there. Similarities that 2022 was the last time that both of these guys were on a field together. Or on a field as players.
Yep.
Spencer Petras in 2022 with Iowa, and Gary Bohannon had transferred from Baylor to Southern Florida and was in his 5th year with Southern Florida when he suffered his injury.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Petras in his 5th year with Iowa, and he suffered his injury. Both of them were supplanted by projective quarterbacks that were going to be good, probably take the reins, and probably move forward. And I think both Bohannon and Petras at that point were like, are we even going to play anymore?
Yeah.
So both of them sit the 2023 season, and I just think it's fascinatingly similar, these two quarterbacks. Petras has been given the job at Utah State. Well, he's coming in through spring and
named the starter.
And was named the starter. Gary Bohannon has actually been kind of the unspoken number 2 behind Jake Retzloff until we came into this camp. And then it was like, no, there's really no unspokens anymore. This is a wide open quarterback competition, and it's as much Gary Bohannon's as it is anybody else's. And so I just kind of dove in a little bit on Gary Bohannon, a little bit of film, a little bit of numbers work, some thoughts in what he brings to the table, not just in passing, but in his rushing ability. And, you know, he can give you some rushing yards. He can do – he's not going to be Jaron Hall. Nobody can expect it.
No.
Nobody would ever expect it.
It's a pretty high bar to set there.
But he's given you a 400-yard rushing season with 9 touchdowns on the ground in a single season. He went to Southern Florida, and he gave you another 400-yard rushing season and gave you 3 rushing touchdowns. Now, that Southern Florida season was cut short because of injury, but Gary Bohannon can give you some rushing yards. Now, Jake Retzloff can too. I mean, he's a very tough. I think he's probably a little bit more durable. At least I would trust him a little bit more to run around. But Gary Bohannon could really do some of the things that Aaron Roderick would want him or need him to do.
Well, and I think that was especially coming off last year where I'm already spacing the guy's name, the USC transfer. Slovis was not able to. Now, which is interesting because we saw his numbers at the combine, and he actually ran the ball really well. Like, he had some speed, but
he ran like a 4.7 or
yeah, just wait, what? Mm-hmm. That doesn't make any sense. But as a quarterback, he didn't run the ball at all. And you could tell that took away a little bit of what Aaron Roderick wanted to do offensively. Mm-hmm. And bringing back that presence, whether it be Retzlaff or whether it be Bohannon, their ability to run the football, and you're at least the threat to be able to run the football, because there was no threat with Slovis. You knew it was never going to happen with him. Mm-hmm. But these guys at least give you the threat that, hey, we can go to this if we need to. This is something that's in our arsenal if we decide to use it. And I think that opens things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that makes them a little bit more dynamic on the offensive side.
Hopefully. Oh, hopefully it will, because Aaron Roderick needs it, and he needs somebody that he can count on. That's what he really needs. Somebody that he really trusts that he can count on.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if Bohannon might be more that guy than Jake Retzlaff.
Well, I think from an experience factor, he should be that guy. I mean, you look at the resumes and you look at the experience. Here's a guy who's been playing since 2018. Mm-hmm. You should probably trust him more than a guy who is coming off, 5 games of Division I experience, and that's it?
4, yeah.
4 or 5 games?
Mm-hmm.
And made a horrific mistake on the goal line against Oklahoma in a game that you probably should have won if he makes the right call there. So, yeah, I mean, I understand. Now there's a lot of other things that have to go into the equation there, but if you're just looking at who's the safer pick, it's Bohannon by a mile. Now, I'm not saying that's ultimately why you should go with Bohannon, but if you just want a nice, safe, don't make the big mistake, keep us in a position to win games, Bohannon's going to be the guy.
I can tell you both of them are acting like the leaders of this team right now.
Yes. Yep.
If you watch interviews or you watch the way they conduct themselves, both of them are acting like the leaders of the offense. So they're in a pretty nice battle. And you can tell that Gary Bohannon is not about to hand this over. And then on the flip side, you've got the Utah State transfer who has been pretty quiet. I don't think he'll be quiet 5-6 games into the season, but right now, this has really been the Gary Bohannon and Jake Retzlaff show. A couple of other things about Bohannon. So you go back to the 21 season. He was 9-2 going into those final couple games. He actually got hurt in that 11th game. He missed that game. He missed the final game. He came back for the Sugar Bowl against Ole Miss in 21. It was a great season for them. So he was 9-2, goes out, comes back for the Sugar Bowl, and I was actually watching a little bit of the Sugar Bowl. It was an interesting game plan. They had no intentions of doing anything with him or anything through the air. His numbers in that Sugar Bowl, 7 of 17 for 40 yards. And it's not like there was another quarterback that went for 180. There were 40 passing yards in that Sugar Bowl total. It was like 230 yards. But Baylor, as you know, Baylor went on and won that Sugar Bowl with 40 yards passing.
Yeah.
Because Gary Bohannon at least did what he needed to do. Ran when he needed to run to convert first, extend clocks. You got some defensive help, and you were able to keep Ole Miss to like 7 points or something like that.
Yeah. Defense really stepped up. But you put the pieces around him, then he managed the pieces, and he did okay with the pieces for 2,200 yards and 19 touchdowns. So, I just look at Gary Bohannon and Spencer Petras, and I say, geez, so many similarities. Yeah. So many. And Utah State feels very confident and comfortable giving it to Petras. And I'm looking at the Bohannon situation, I'm like, why not? They both sat out 2023. They both had season-ending surgeries, which I believe both were on the throwing shoulder. Yeah. Yep.
I think Gary Bohannon's was.
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, you roll out Jake Retzlaff. And it's the hope of the unexpected with Jake Retzlaff. Like, he can do things that will win you games, and he might be something real flashy and productive. That season that he had at Riverside is, numbers-wise, is one of the craziest, most inflated numbered seasons I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Let me just, I'll just
at
give you,
any level, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just give you the numbers. So, 12 games, 4,600 yards passing, 44 touchdowns. He set the school record for the most passing yards in a game at 530 and passing touchdowns in a single game at 6. Not to mention what he was able to do on the ground. But 4,600 yards passing and 44 touchdowns. And I know that it's at JUCO.
Did you have the interceptions? Wasn't it like 3 or 4 or something like that?
It was way low. I didn't put down the interceptions. But yeah, you're right. It was way limited.
Low single digits.
Mm-hmm. And he was the number 1 rated JUCO quarterback. And I get it. It's JUCO, but you would think that some of that, whatever that it is, that it would transfer. And there were moments when I was up in the booth calling those games where I'm like, maybe that's it. Maybe. But then it was like, no, that's not it. But then you're like, well, how much of that was the O-line? Because he did get hit a lot. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
West Virginia, Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State in particular.
Beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
He wasn't the starter for Iowa State, was he?
I don't think so.
I just remember Iowa State got after whoever was the starter in that game. Iowa State beat him up.
It was a recurring theme all season long. That O-line, for having a guy that might start in the NFL as a rookie.
Yeah.
That offensive line wasn't great last year.
I think one of the hardest things, if I was a quarterback, one of the hardest things for me would be accountability.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, like, dude, put yourself in a quarterback's shoes. You've got everybody that you could blame. Everybody. The play call, the offensive line, your stupid running back, your garbage tight end, your bad wide receivers, your ridiculous head coach and his dumb timeouts and killing momentum. And as a quarterback, you could blame everybody.
Because you as a quarterback are getting all the blame when things aren't going well.
You're taking all the heat.
Yeah, and so you're like, well, shoot, I don't want to deal with this. Guess what? Let me tell you what's going on. We got this dude that can't do this. I got this dude. I got this coach. I got this. Why are you guys blaming me? Go talk to them. Oh, I'd be deflecting like crazy. I'd be like Lloyd coming back on vacation. I'd be deflect.
I know, dude.
He's like, well, yeah, I had lobster on my day off, but hands, blah, blah, blah. You know. And Scott's talking about his Peloton like crazy.
No, he's not. We need to have a talk about your vacation days, Lloyd.
Okay, we can talk about it anytime you want.
Way out of control. But I just think about it. Like,
yeah.
Did you see all the low snaps? How many times did I have to take my eyes off the downfield?
Yeah.
Did you see our left tackle? I can't even set in my passing stance because I'm afraid that I'm going to get hit on the blind side. Have you seen my receivers? Watch them try to break a route. They can't get off the press. There are so many excuses for a quarterback. And you watch these quarterbacks and they gut it.
Yeah.
And they just say, nah, it's all me. It's my fault.
They're better people than I am, for sure.
And I look at both Gary Bohannon and Jake Retzlaff and I say, all right, who takes accountability?
Yeah.
Who puts it on themselves, doesn't have the blame, and goes out there and earns it? I really do believe this thing is wide open.
I do too. And I think
it's wide open.
And going into camp, I would have said it's Retzlaff's job, and now I feel completely different about it.
Yep.
Not that it's Bohannon's job, but that it's actually right now, if you were to give me 100 Skittles and say you got to I would put 65 Skittles on Bohannon, 35 on Retzlaff.
You'd put 65 on Bohannon? It's probably not a bad bet right now. But I do think that there's a lot to be done. Are the similarities not crazy?
That is spooky. That is spooky.
Between Bohannon and Petrus?
By the way, I still have all my Skittles that McKay Hillstead will be the starter at the end of the season.
Okay. Still 100%.
Still all in on that.
All right.
All right, 1247, Hans and Scotty, what you may have missed coming up next. We'll talk Utah and BYU throughout the show today. Really excited. Steve Bartle, our Ute insider, really fired up to welcome him to the team. He joins us at 105. Mitch Harper joins us at 205. It's all right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Athletics are funny that way. I've always said this. Not only does it attract people from all sorts of different backgrounds, but all sorts of different intelligence levels, different emotionally intelligence levels, like all those things. Like, I don't know how coaches do it, honestly.
This is going to sound mean because it's certainly not the case. There are legitimate savants, can think everything with the game, and then aren't super intelligent off the floor and struggle off the floor. And that's quite common.
It's so applicable, though, to life. I mean, Elton John just sat down and played the piano. I think in person you can really tell the difference between not intelligent and maybe just public speaking isn't my first way of communicating. But then you can see people as just like, okay, this dude's just a dim bulb. And as a dim bulb myself, I feel like we can really sniff out each other. You know what I mean?
Spider sense tingles when you get around each other.
This guy's faking it just like me.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to Hans Olsen and Scotty G. That's right. Yeah! On 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, 12:51 on a Friday. Just shut it down the rest of the day, folks. Man, I like what. Nice. Well done by you.
Don't shut us down, though.
No.
Keep on listening.
No, keep listening to us. Yes, please do. But yeah, take the rest of the day off. You can. We can't. That's all right. You can. Just tell the boss you got things to do. You got errands to run. You got sales calls to make.
Olympics to watch.
You don't say that. By the way, it is official Big 12 day today. Utah is now officially in the Big 12.
I thought that was a while ago.
I did too, but apparently it wasn't official until August 1st.
But I thought that
or 2nd or whatever.
It was a long time ago.
I that's what I thought so too.
February
but
or January?
Am I wrong there? Everybody's talking about how they're all, all this stuff's coming out today.
Yes, I think it's like official, even though they were at Media Day. I think it's official.
Well, Scotty, a couple things in what you may have missed really quickly. Did you get to see any parts of the Hall of Fame game, including the new NFL kickoff?
I did, and...
No like?
I don't know what to think of it. Like, I get why they're doing it. It just looks gimmicky. It just looks dumb.
Yeah. No like.
Now, I also don't like what it's turned into, where guys were just bombing it into the end zone and there were never any returns. At least we saw a couple of returns last night.
Yeah, it's a forced return situation, so it's at least it makes you do something, but it's not a lot of fun.
I don't know what you're a purist.
It's just so new that it feels wrong, because I feel like anybody that touches football is like throwing pink paint on the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
It's like, don't degrade my baby.
Yeah.
This is my world. Don't touch it.
It just feels like, and I know that it originated, like the XFL or one of those leagues were the ones that started doing this, and good for them. You got to be innovative, and you got to, but to me, I always looked at those leagues as just gimmicks. And to me, you took the greatest sport in the history of the planet and you made it a little gimmicky. It looks a little gimmicky out there.
I got to get a better feel for it, but we did get a first feel for it yesterday, and it wasn't my favorite, just watching the Texans and Bears in the Hall of Fame game. It's not my favorite at this point, but I'm going to see. I'm going to give it more chance before I completely shut it down. The one thing I'm not really excited about is the new hip drop tackle rules. I hate
that.
Those.
Don't like that at all.
Because I feel like there's some subjectivity in there that can allow official to sway games a little bit more easily.
Yep, there's going to be a game, and I hope you as a NFL fan, it doesn't affect your team unless you're the Raiders, and I hope it affects you. But get ready, folks. There's going to be a late fourth quarter. It's like third down, and you're down by 4. You got to get that stop to get off the field to force the punt team out there to get the ball back to your offense. You don't have any timeouts left. Mm-hmm. You end up making that tackle. You get the stop, but there comes the yellow flag. hip drop tackle, 15 yards, game's over. That's going to happen this year. It's going to happen, and people are going to lose their minds about it. But get ready. There's going to be that situation where this will directly impact the win or loss of a game.
The hip drop tackle is like egg drop soup. It's just not good.
I don't even know what to do with that. Who doesn't like egg drop soup? What's wrong with you?
I don't like egg drop soup at all. Do you, Scotty?
I don't mind a good egg drop soup.
Okay, so
It's not something that I actively seek out, but
How's your egg drop soup? Yeah, sure, but
no,
it's not like it's not something I'm looking forward to. But when
not bad.
But when it comes out as one of the courses, I'll enjoy it.
Maybe I got a bad one. I had one that was like a loogie texture that was.
That can happen.
It's slimy and loogie.
Like my favorite dressing on a salad is blue cheese.
Mine too.
But I never order blue cheese because
you don't know what it's going to be.
Because there's nothing worse than bad blue cheese.
Yeah, and there is bad blue cheese.
And so I will always order ranch at a restaurant because I don't want bad blue cheese.
Because you don't hit a lot of bad ranch.
Yeah, ranch is pretty safe.
So the hip drop tackle, just so everybody's familiar with it, and it can happen in so many different ways. It can happen in a pursuit tackle. It can happen in a face-on tackle. It can happen on an angle tackle. A hip drop tackle is anything where you get around the waist and you turn your body into the back of their legs to bring them down.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to go and watch the design of it, it's where a linebacker grabs like a crossing slot receiver by the hips and whirls him around and tosses him over the back of his legs and pushes his body right into the back of the knees. And you could say, okay, that's an extreme example. But the problem is, if I'm a defensive lineman and I'm reading, I've got trap recognition, and I took on the trapper, and here comes the running back, and I square up, hit him. And running backs are so good at shifting. Once they get hit square, they shift. And he shifts, and he kind of slides by my hip. As soon as I turn my hip and try to rotate into him to whirl him down, there's your yellow flag.
Yep.
There's your 15 yards. And, you go horse collar tackle and you go helmet to helmet, and you're starting to restrict defenders from being aggressive and doing what they're supposed to do, which is get a ball carrier to the ground. So I'm more concerned about that stuff than I am this kickoff. But the kickoff looked weird.
It looked silly. It looked dumb. But, we'll get used to it.
I do have some good news. The United States of America has passed Japan in the gold medal count. And we are now number 3 in gold medals.
Wow, we have the bronze medal and gold medals. Great. That's awesome.
We've got 9 golds. Australia is just in front of us with 10 golds.
We're losing to freaking Australia in gold medals.
And China is just cleaning house with their golds. But we are destroying the medal count. 42 total medals. The next closest is 10 below us at 32.
Doesn't matter.
And that is France.
To be honest, though, it doesn't matter.
There's still time. There's got to be still time to catch up. We can catch up, right? We can get
on
China.
golds?
Yeah, we can get China, right?
Oh, for sure. Oh, dude, there's
maybe
plenty
if
of
they
time.
count all of the men's basketball team members, we might have a chance. But we're not catching China.
Sadly, that's just not how. If they did, that'd be great.
Not how it works. All right, Hans and Scotty right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.